Welcome again, everyone. Welcome and welcome. My name is Zach Davey. I'm one of the admissions officers at RISD. I don't handle the pre-college program specifically myself, but luckily I'm joined by two of our colleagues who do. I mostly work with prospective undergrad students. So if you choose to apply to RISD for a bachelor's degree, it's likely you'll get to talk to me or one of my colleagues along the way. We're always happy to support you, and I'm joined by two of my colleagues in continuing education. I'll pass it over to Christina to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Christina Byrne. I work within our pre-college program within the student life, enrollment, and operations areas. And I'm joined with my colleague Noah. I'll let him introduce himself as well.
Hi all, thanks for coming tonight. My name's Noah Fraze. I do application and enrollment work for the pre-college program, and I'm going to talk about the academics and the majors and everything like that. So looking forward to talking to you.
And yeah, so we have a presentation for you to talk about our pre-college programs, both our pre-college on campus and our pre-college online program. And both of these programs follow a college level curriculum in the format that works for you. So whether you are able to come to campus or will be joining us remotely, we have two great programs that will help to, build portfolio work and create a solid foundation for your art education. So our pre-college residential program on campus. That will happen this summer between June 29th and July 31st. And then our online summer intensive is June 22nd to July 30th. So similar dates, just a few days off. So we're going to talk about both of these and see which one works for you. And Noah will kick us off talking about pre-college online.
Yeah, so like Christina said, I'll talk more about the online program first, which is a new offering this year. The pre-college online program offers intensive collegiate levels online courses for students in grades 10 to 12. There are two days of classes each week and flexibility to complete your work. And one great thing about this format is it lets you uh, have time to complete your artwork, but also have time to work during the summer or work on other things. But you'll still be building your skills, building a portfolio, and preparing to study art and design in college. Um, so we start with an orientation week, uh, and then we do 5 weeks of classes after that. Students will take a design and drawing foundations course and a chosen concentration simultaneously. Each course meets once per week for 3-hour live sessions. With class meetings and homework, pre-college online totals about 20 hours a week of dedicated time. Additionally, we're going to offer a series of webinars created to support your college applications, such as how to write an artist statement, preparing for a portfolio review, how life at RISD works, and resources for applying to and attending RISD. And then we can move on to the next slide about the foundations. Yeah, so the foundations class is going to prepare you for a creative practice in any medium. It covers both design and drawing, and it's going to help you learn and create a starting point for your chosen concentration. Concepts such as design principles and drawing techniques will help you to create compelling images, express your ideas, and generate interest. Skills developed in this course will complement your coursework and your concentration. RISD's approach to these concepts is going to challenge you, regardless of your prior experience with design or drawing. And next slide, please. So all of our pre-college online students will choose a concentration where they focus on a specific medium. And I'll give you all the examples here. In animation, you're going to use both analog and digital approaches to tell compelling stories to your audience. In visualizing data with graphic design, you'll develop your visual language through data collection, analysis, and iteration. In illustration, you're going to elevate your personal rendering style with drawing from observation, sequencing, and experimentation. In interpreting the figure, you're going to learn how proportions work and anatomical landmarks of the human body and produce expressive figure drawings. In painting, you're going to explore the properties and techniques of using acrylic paints as you experiment with color, texture, and different brush strokes. And next slide, please. Um, so basically what you're going to get out of this program by participating in this program, you're going to develop skills, build a portfolio, and prepare, get ready to study art or design in college. You're going to learn solutions to the challenges that come with working from home or with limited space and materials. You're also going to achieve exceptional outcomes by learning alongside other dedicated peers and receiving direct and responsive support from your instructors. In the end, your portfolio will display a well-rounded mix of design, drawing, and also specialized work from your concentration. So Pre-College Online is open to students 14 to 18 years old and rising into grades 10 through 12 or the equivalent. Successful students are passionate artists, have a strong work ethic, and enjoy being challenged. Beyond that, we don't have any portfolio requirements, admission tests, or prerequisites. The program is open to all, regardless of your experience with art or training. We want you to have a passion for it, but if you don't have a lot of experience, that's totally okay. And then in the next slide, this just shows you some information. I would just jot down the website especially. That'll show you have full information about how to register online. And it shows the requirements as well. We're going to need a parent and guardian to sign off on your application. And there is a response needed to 3 different essay questions. So you'll just have to complete that. Another thing that I do want to point out is we do offer some scholarships. The scholarship deadline is February 2nd, 2026. So just make a note of that if you want to apply for a scholarship. And so that pretty much does it for the online program. And now we can talk about the on-campus program. So RISD Pre-College is a residential program. It's actually been running for more than 50 years. Every year, 500 creative, highly motivated students from around the world come to RISD for this program. It's a 5-week program where you're going to live just like a RISD student. You're going to stay in the RISD dorms, attend classes in the same rooms, and use many of the resources available to our undergrad students. Our students and their parents describe pre-college as a transformative experience. Not only will you be going to class, but you'll also learn how to manage yourself on your own. You're going to attend classes 5 days a week for about 40 hours of work weekly. You're going to take care of your meals, do your own laundry, and explore the city of Providence with new friends while creating art and pieces for your portfolio. So pre-college is open to rising juniors and seniors. So if you're going into 11th or 12th grade, ages 16 to 18. And like pre-college online, we don't have portfolio requirements and we accept students of all skill levels. But that being said, our students are very serious about art and design. Many of them are considering or already know that they're going to apply to art school. So if you're someone who isn't confident in your art skills just yet, this program is a great place to increase your confidence, but you're just going to need to prepare yourself to be surrounded by some folks who are highly skilled. We also boast a diverse student body with students coming from 35 different states and 34 countries. About a quarter of our students are from outside the United States. And RISD also prides itself on being an inclusive community to all genders. So young women make up about 70% of our students, young men are about 20%, about 1% are transgender, and 6% are non-binary. So these are the students who you're going to be working with. You're going to challenge, inspire, and encourage each other to push past your limits and produce your best work yet. So RISD's teaching philosophy centers around the idea of critical making. So we don't simply learn the right way to use materials or to create an object. We enjoy the creative journey and allow our plans to change along the way. Your instructors are going to push you out of your comfort zone and challenge you to think conceptually. You'll learn to ask yourself questions about what you're making, why, and what you can do with your materials that hasn't been done before. Our goal is to nurture creative thinking skills so that you're equipped to make a positive impact on the world. Our educators are just as dynamic and diverse as our students, coming from a wide range of disciplines and experience. They include practicing artists, degree program faculty, and creative researchers who use their practice to generate new knowledge. Some of our faculty have returned each summer for as many as 20 years. They've helped countless students build strong portfolios that help them get accepted into art and design schools. Other instructors are brand new, and they bring a fresh perspective and new ideas. Every class will also have a teaching assistant who are current RISD students, and they are a great resource. They can share their perspective about attending RISD, what RISD is like. And all of our instructors and TAs are here because they're really passionate about teaching you art and supporting your growth as an artist. So now I'll cover some of the classes themselves. So for the drawing foundations class, basically drawing skills are essential for working in any visual medium and are a critical component of art school admission portfolios. So our drawing foundations class is a space for you to develop your power of observation and to strengthen your ability to express an idea visually. Traditional and non-traditional materials and methods may be used, and drawing from observation is really emphasized. So we don't draw from photographs, we draw from life. And next slide, please. And so we also have a design foundations class. And the design foundations class is where you'll have dedicated time to develop your ability to think conceptually. So if you apply to RISD as an undergrad, that's a lot of what your application reviewers will be looking for. They really want to see that you're not just picking the first idea that comes to mind, but that you're taking that experimental approach to develop your ideas further. Projects might include both 2- and 3-dimensional design concepts, and we'll also cover color and color theory. And so those are our foundation classes, but students also build on their work in their majors. So everyone chooses a major. This year we have 20 majors ranging from film to ceramics. I'll cover some examples in later slides. But this is your opportunity to have a concentrated experience working in one field. And majors are taught 2 days a week. They're filled on a first come, first served basis. So if you have your heart set on a particular major, we encourage you all to apply early so you can secure your spot in that major. But it's also important that we also encourage you basically to try something you've never tried before. It's a great opportunity to try something new. And a well-rounded portfolio also helps college applications, and this is a great opportunity to do that. But no matter what your major is, you're going to walk away with a depth of experience and great artwork. And like I said, I'm not going to cover every major, but I want to give you some examples of what we're going to be offering. So here are some of our majors that focus on 2-dimensional work. So we do have the drawing foundations class, but if you just love drawing, you can also major in drawing as well. And you'd have drawing class 3 days a week, and you'd really hone your skills and become a great drawer at the end of the program. If you haven't tried oil painting before, or if you really want to brush up on your oil painting skills, you can do that in our painting major. If you're more interested in narrative type work, we offer both an illustration major and also a graphic novel major. We have a digital photography major where you're going to learn how to use a camera with manual controls and experiment and learn about lighting and composition. And then if you're interested in branding or marketing, or if you like to play with typography, we have graphic design, which would be a great fit for you. And then we also offer a bunch of 3-dimensional majors, 3-dimensional focus majors. So in ceramics, you're going to create both functional pieces and sculptural work. We have a fashion design major where you're going to make your own garment and you're going to take it through the whole process from sketch to concept to finished piece. And we have a great fashion show at the end of the program as well for that major. In architecture, you're going to learn to think about how structures work and ultimately construct a model of a building. In jewelry, you're going to learn metalworking techniques to create small wearable works of art, which is a really cool major. And then we have some more interesting majors, I'll say, experimental majors. And so here are some examples of some other ones that aren't really limited to one medium or dimension. We have a great animation major where you're going to learn how to convey character and expression through drawing. In film, you're going to learn about storytelling, editing, and composition. In industrial design, you'll learn how aesthetics and function combine and affect the things we use every day. And in our art and science major, you're going to spend time in our famous nature lab, creating work in response to the natural world. And then in addition to the 3 studio courses that we've talked about, all students are going to take one liberal arts course, which is called Critical Studies in Art. In this class, you're going to read and write about art and learn how you can interpret a piece of art within the context in which it was made. You'll visit the RISD Museum, where you'll use visual thinking strategies to speak and write about objects from the museum's collection. You'll analyze what you're seeing using visual and tactile clues, as well as the cultural context and written evidence surrounding the work. It's a chance to gather inspiration from what's been done before and really see where you fit in the history of art. Then, so I mentioned it briefly before about the fashion show, but we have a number of final exhibitions in the last week of the program. So there is one exhibition where every student will submit work and one combined exhibition for drawing foundations and design foundations. We also have screenings for animation and film and the fashion show that I mentioned. And these exhibitions are a chance for everyone in pre-college and the broader RISD community to see what's been going on, what people have been working on. This is where your families can come and see what you've accomplished and get an idea of the range of work and ideas that have been going on during the program. And after completing the program, you're going to leave with portfolio pieces that you can use in your college applications. You'll have your transcript and a certificate of completion, and you'll be able to request a letter of recommendation from one of your studio instructors. And then, so just as you think about applying, think about the program, there are some things that you should keep in mind. So our residential program, pre-college program, is a really full-time commitment. So you're going to be working 40 hours per week. So you're not going to have time for other summer commitments like SAT prep, sports, or employment. So that's really important to keep in mind. If that's going to be an issue for you, I would encourage you to look at our pre-college online offering because that does have a little more flexibility in terms of time. Another thing is that at RISD, the emphasis is on handmaking and conceptual development. So what this means is you probably won't use the computer much in your studio classes. Some majors will use it more. One example is animation. You use digital software to put your work together, but the techniques taught themselves are really focused on hand drawing and also stop motion. And also critique is at the core of what our studio courses offer. It's where you give and receive feedback on your artwork and the work of your peers. So this isn't a space where you're going to simply hand in your assignment and get graded. You're going to have to explain your decisions and have a dialogue with your instructor and also your classmates. This is really one of the most valuable and most exciting parts of our studio classes. And you'll get the most out of it if you're interested in what others have to say. And last, but perhaps most importantly, you can expect to be a part of a creative community of other dedicated artists just like yourself. Alumni of the program tend to say that the community was their favorite part, and many, many students walk away with new lifelong friends. So academics are really just one part of our pre-college program. And so I'll pass it back to Christina, and she's going to present about what it's like to live on RISD's campus during the summer.
Thank you, Noah. Yeah, so, life outside of the studio, outside of the classroom is just as important as when you are working on your art. So living at RISD gives you an opportunity to live and work like a RISD student. You will be in the residence halls that RISD students use, accessing their workrooms within the residence halls, walking up and down that, renowned RISD Hill, going to all of your classes, working in the same studios as all the undergraduate students. You get to participate in a weekend orientation where we have, everyone on campus ready to welcome you. We have move-in events, orientation, different meet and mingle situations. So you really get to feel what it's like to come onto a pre-college or onto a college campus and get started and live and work with other like-minded artists. As Noah said, the community is, sometimes one of the most favorite parts of pre-college. Students feel like they get to pre-college and really have found their people. You're living and working amongst people who are just as serious about their art as you. Even as a commuter students do have access to, the campus all day and all night up until curfew hours. So they're able to, stay in the studios, in the workrooms, hang out with their friends, collaborate on different projects and things. So there really is a lot of opportunities to be connecting with one another outside of the classroom. And as Noah had mentioned, we do have students from all over the world. So, we find that students will start to meet people from countries they've never met somebody before, and then they're able to, share in those different cultural experiences and learn from them. As a residential student, all students will receive a full meal plan. So if you are living on campus, you receive 3 meals a day from the moment you step on campus until you leave on the last day. Our commuter students do receive a 25 meal a meal plan for 25 meals. That gives them lunch every single day of the program during the week when they are there. The dining hall is fantastic. It's delicious. They have a lot of great options. They cater to a lot of different dietary requirements, restrictions. There's always a lot of goodies. They have ice cream every day. They've got ice pops. There's always different, just a variation of food that, will suffice for any student and any diet. Students can also receive mail and packages. Just like you're at college, so a lot of students may receive care packages, or they're ordering things from online shopping. You do have access to that during the program. There's also a fitness center that is open in the evenings and on Saturdays. So if you are someone who likes to keep up, stay active, if the hills are not enough for you, you can go to the gym. They've got cardio machines, they've got different weight room areas, they've got a dance studio. So you're able to kind of still keep up with some habits that you may already be into at home. Our residence halls are made up of single, double, and triple rooms. Our residence life team does a really great job of pairing students together based on your housing application. So if you're accepted into the program, one of the first big steps that you do after acceptance is to apply for housing, and you fill out a very detailed survey answering all types of questions about yourself, your habits, your lifestyle, your preferences, things like that. And they do a really good job to match students with roommates. There is a limited amount of single rooms, so it's important to know that. And they do prioritize those for students with medical accommodations. But within the residence halls, there's common study areas, recreational lounges, so there's workrooms, and then there's kitchens. So a lot of students come together as a floor or a suite area, and we'll cook together. We'll maybe, share dishes from, their own homes, back home, things like that. So there's a lot of opportunities to get out of your room, kind of be amongst the community and hang out with your fellow, students not in the classroom. Every floor, so every community has a resident advisor, and these are typically RISD undergraduate students who have decided to stay on campus for the summer. So they are a great resource for our pre-college students as far as, how to just manage your time, function at RISD. They can give insight into, things to do on campus, off campus, maybe you need some help with a project. They all understand. They've all been through the first year at RISD, second year at RISD. Some of them have even done pre-college. So our resident advisors, we call them RAs. They do a really good job of serving in a mentor capacity to our students. Given that you're there for 5 weeks, laundry is always a concern. So students have the option to do laundry themselves, which is a great learning experience, or you can do a drop-off service where they will come and pick up your laundry and return it within a few days. So whatever kind of level of independence you have there and preference to get your clothes and bedding cleaned, we offer it. So in addition to, just the things that are happening in the residence halls, we do have other on-campus activities that we bring students together to, again, just take a break from all the artistic work that you're doing, be able to have conversations outside of class. So there's different on-campus activities that can include different pop-up events that are food related, or there's game nights. Maybe it's taking a stroll, doing a walking tour of a certain part of the campus. We also have local weekend trips where we will do things around Providence. We go to the beach, we go up to the farmers market, we'll do different, there's a lot of festivals and street fairs and things happening in the city. So we try to bring students to different opportunities so that they can get a feel for what life in Providence is like beyond the campus. So similar to that, community events, there's always something happening in Providence. It's the creative capital. It's a wonderful city. It's a safe city. It's easy to get around, easy to navigate. And there's always something fun happening in the summer. We have Water Fire, which is a it's fire in the water along our pedestrian kind of canal. And they have events every weekend. There's always like live music happening in the street. There's yoga in the park, Zumba in the park. So there's a lot of opportunities to get engaged with the community. And then another fun thing that we offer for pre-college students is the artist ball. RISD, the degree program, they throw their own artist ball each year. So we wanted to offer a similar experience. So towards the end of the program, we throw the artist ball. It's like a little artist prom. We get a DJ, we've got lights, we've got a photo booth. Students get dressed up or don't get dressed up, or, will come in costume, however they want to, kind of dress that day. And it's a really fun time to just let loose, listen to music, eat some good food, and, dance the night away. And then Noah had also mentioned the exhibitions. That's a really fun time on campus. Students work really hard to produce their best work for themselves, but also for these exhibitions. As we said, it is an opportunity for friends, family, the RISD, the public to come and see the work that pre-college students have been doing. We have a lot of events happening. There's receptions with food, and there's excitement. There's the fashion show. So there's a lot of things happening towards the end of the program that is meant to celebrate the work that you've done, celebrate the community, and really showcase, how great the 5 weeks has been for students. So those exhibitions are a really fun time to celebrate you, the student. We also take the wellness and safety of our students very seriously. Of course, all our pre-college students are minors, so there's always an extra layer of oversight and being sure that students are safe on campus. We have a public safety team that monitors 24/7. So that includes different like stationed officers, but then also patrol officers who are walking the campus, driving around the campus. They're walking the different, residence halls. They're checking to make sure doors are locked, things like that. They are our defenders of the arts, we call them, and they do a really good job to help support students in any scenario, whether they're locked out of their room, or, something maybe, broke in the bathroom. They respond. They're there 24/7 to address any needs or concerns that our students have. The same with for parents. The public safety phone number is open 24/7. If something happens and a parent needs to get in touch with a student, we always direct them through public safety because they are on 24/7. Students also have access to our counseling and psychological services center. So we always, tell students that if they're engaged in any type of, counseling or therapeutic relationship outside of pre-college, to keep up with those resources when they are here at pre-college. So that can include connecting with your own home therapist, But you also can access hours if you need. So they can, schedule appointments if you're, kind of feeling homesick or you're having a bit of a tough time. We do have counselors that are ready to speak with students, connect them with different resources, connect them with other people on campus to make sure that they're able to have a successful time during the program. We also have a health services office, so students can see our nurse practitioners on campus for, headache, stomach ache, maybe you're just, feeling some type of way and you just need to see the nurse, right? So we help to connect students with our health services team as well. Another important service is our disability support services and academic support. So we call them DSS, for disability support services. For students who have any type of accommodations, individual learning plans, things like that, we certainly encourage you to keep those up for pre-college. So maybe you have them in your home high schools. We would encourage you to also sign up for those accommodations during pre-college, because the program can be quite intense. Some students have, in the past have thought, oh, I don't need the accommodation for my art classes. Like, I love it so much, I'm so interested. But then you get here and you realize that maybe you're not able to manage your time as well. Maybe you do need some accommodations. You do need that extra level of support. So we definitely encourage all students who feel that they need or already have an accommodation to connect with our accessibility office for that extra level of academic support. They will also have open hours where you can just kind of drop in and chat with somebody in their office. And we want to make sure that students are feeling that they are showing up to class in the best possible way and that they have all of the right tools and resources for the class. And then our last little bit of support that we offer is our RISD rides. So this is a RISD shuttle that operates all over campus in the evening time. So it usually starts about 5 p.m. and goes until curfew. So curfew during the week is 10 p.m., weekends is 11 p.m. So if you are, in your studio till 9 o'clock at night and you don't want to walk all the way home, you can call a RISD Rides. If you are shopping at Trader Joe's and now your bag's really heavy, you can call RISD Rides and they'll bring you back to campus. They take you to the mall, they'll take you to CVS. There's a radius around campus where you can do an on-demand ride through the MyRISD mobile app, which all students will have when they get to campus, and you can arrange for a safe ride home. So we find that gets used all the time because, sometimes you just get tired and those hills are steep. So sometimes you just want to ride home. Some other campus resources that our students can access, which we mentioned just a bit before: the Nature Lab, the RISD Museum, the Fleet Library, which is like one of the most incredible, beautiful buildings. It's an old bank, like a really old bank with like insanely high vaulted ceilings. It's really beautiful. Our students can access that. Maybe you just want to study, maybe you just need a quiet place to, think about your work. It's a great place to visit. Again, the RISD studios and equipment. So students do use all of the same, classrooms and equipment that our undergraduate students use. And then we have on-campus computer labs as well. So for applying to pre-college on campus, you can go to our website. You do have to set up an account. There is a parent guardian signature required and a response to 4 questions. We also offer a limited number of scholarships. These are typically full scholarships, so it covers your tuition and room and board. And that does have an extra layer of requirements. So you do need a letter of recommendation from, a guidance counselor, a teacher, or an arts mentor. You need a transcript from your home high school, your tax returns, and then other financial information, including a pay stub. So that, because the pre-college on-campus program is much more of a higher price point. There is more requirements than the pre-college online scholarship application. And that deadline is Friday, January 30th at 5 p.m. And that is a very strict deadline. We do not accept late applications simply because we receive so many scholarship applications, and we really want to be fair to the students who have taken the time to submit their application by the deadline and give, the most consideration to those folks. So we really encourage you, if you are looking to obtain a scholarship, to start working on that application sooner than later. It can take a little bit to obtain some of this information, financial information, getting a letter of recommendation. Don't wait until the last minute. We want to help support you as best we can, and we do that by giving you all the information you need and setting these deadlines. Set a reminder in your phone. Set yourself up for being able to submit that on time. This is our contact information, precollege@risd.edu. Feel free to send us an email, after this session, tomorrow, the next day. That's our phone number as well. We are, we're at that number Monday through Friday. And we always have a team of people ready to chat with you about the program. And yeah, so I see I did answer a question live about, I'm just looking at the questions that are in here now. I also see a question about what the weather is like at RISD during the summer. So Rhode Island is absolutely beautiful in the summer. It's the ocean state. We have miles and miles of shoreline. So it gets pretty warm. Providence especially gets pretty warm because we are kind of situated on a hill. I call it a little Providence bubble. So it does get very warm. The residence halls are air conditioned. All the buildings are air conditioned, but it still gets hot. But it can get cool in the summer, especially as you get closer to the water. But it's absolutely beautiful. Rhode Island's a great place to be in the summer. The scholarships are only need-based, so they are purely financial based. So that's to answer that one live. Room changes are not possible unless there is an emergency. So our residence life team, again, does a really good job of matching students. We also use up almost all of the rooms and the beds for this program. So we're not able to just, switch students from room to room. But we will work together. We'll, mediate with you if there are issues that you're having in your room with your roommate, things like that. We have a really well-trained residence life team who can help you navigate through those things, because it happens, right? You're moving into a room with someone you don't know. Maybe it's your first time away from home. There's sometimes things that need to be navigated. And they do a good job of doing that in the beginning as well, where they will meet with students on the floor and make sure that each room has a roommate agreement, that there are expectations and boundaries set up to provide a successful experience. Weekends. What are weekends like? Weekends can be, a lot of students stay in the studio all the time. Other students are really excited to participate in our weekend trips, go to the beach, go to the farmer's market. It's really up to you. There's things happening on campus. Residence Life is planning different events during the weekend. The student support office has things. So it's really what you make of it, what you want to do on the weekends. All right. I'm just going to keep firing off these questions, if that's okay with everybody. Is there a limit to how many letters of recommendation needed? So I think that means for the scholarship application, we only need one for the scholarship application, one letter of recommendation. But if you have, if you have people that are going to write multiples for you, it can't hurt to obtain those so that you have them for future use. Do you get to speak with your roommates before the program starts, or do you just meet them on the first day of the program? So roommate information does get sent out about a week or two before the program. We don't necessarily give contact information. So students have to sign off on whether or not they approve for someone to be contacted before the program. So it's possible that you do get to talk with your roommate before you get there. But it's also possible that you won't talk to them until the first day of the program, which is kind of exciting. A little living on the edge. Um, is there any extra consideration given to an admission decision to RISD students who participate in the pre-college program? Do you want to answer that, Zach?
Yeah, I can take that one. Yeah, there's no additional boost, I'll say. You won't instantly have a higher chance of getting into RISD. We don't instantly boost a candidate just because we saw that they attended pre-college. However, I still recommend it to work on your portfolio. As Christina and Noah are both saying, it's a really great opportunity to get some time to work on your portfolio and really get that experience under your belt and meet with some professors and faculty in these programs. But yeah, it's not an instantaneous boost. It's more of just developing the portfolio. And at the end of the day, the portfolio is the most important part of your application to RISD.
And there's a question in the chat too. When will you learn if you're accepted to the program after you apply? So we do release decisions on a rolling basis. The application opened November 6th. We're going to probably start sending out decisions in early to mid-December. So I would say it can take up to like 6 weeks to hear back. Typically, you'll hear back within a month, but it does depend. And we will begin releasing those decisions starting in December.
And just to reiterate what Noah had said, that majors do enroll on a first come, first served basis. And we find that the later you apply, the more the struggle to get into your, first preference of a major. So, applying early is suggested.
Well, it seems like those are all of our questions. It seems like we've gone to the
Yeah,
end. Thank you so much, Christina and Noah. You all were amazing. And
thank you.
yeah, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Assuming there's no more questions, Christina or Noah, did you all have any last words you want to end with, or?
I was just going to say, it may be a lot to digest what we just talked about, and maybe you're seeing our website for the first time. Check out the website, go through everything, go through the links, start, marking down some questions. And if you have any questions, just feel free to send us an email or give us a call. And that way we can, answer them, to the best of our ability. But our website does have a lot of great information. There's different videos, things like that. So just encourage you to check that out. And let us know if there's any questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. Thank you,
Right.
Noah. I don't see any other questions in the chat, so I'll
Yeah.
wrap it up here and hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thanks
Bye.
all.